Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jennifer Gallagher, and I have the pleasure of serving Mayor Ginther as the Director of the Department of Public Service. Columbus is a diverse and welcoming city, and the mayor has challenged us to build off this by supporting and encouraging the growth of women and minority-owned businesses. We are committed to making Columbus America's equal opportunity city by working with you, the vendors, the consultants, the contractors, who provide a wide array of services who enable us to provide services for our city and our citizens. Women and minority-owned businesses do play a key role in our success. We want to ensure that resources and opportunities are available to all of you. We hope you leave today feeling empowered and confident about how to contract with the city to provide services. At the Department of Public Service, we impact the lives of every citizen in Columbus every day, whether it is building and designing our roadways, plowing our streets, timing our traffic signals, or building sidewalks. We do this throughout the city with your help and with your help only. I am proud that the Department of Public Service is hosting this event, and I want to thank you for coming to learn about the opportunities that Public Service and the other departments will lay out today. I do want to thank all the other departments for being here, and our city leaders, Mayor Ginther, Council President Hardin, and Council Member Favor for their support today. I would also like to invite everyone who is here today to make sure that you register for the Mayor's Small Business Conference, which will be just in a couple weeks, October 1 and 2. And you can do that by going to columbus.gov/connectus, and I'm sure the diversity table has information on that, and you're welcome to see them. I would now like to bring up Mayor Andrew Ginther, whose leadership makes important events like this very possible. Thank you, Mayor.
Good afternoon. I am thrilled to be back at St. Stephen's. I think I'm going to have to start paying rent here because in this very same room we had the largest baby shower I have ever been to with Celebrate One on Saturday. It was pretty awesome. My little 9-year-old was eyes and mind blown by the amount of babies and moms and a lot of great stuff happening here at St. Stephen's. So thank you to St. Stephen's for hosting us today, Director Gallagher, the Department of Public Service, our Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and everyone that's here today. When I took office 4 years ago, I challenged my directors to place a high standard on the role of diversity and inclusion at the City of Columbus. I called for a disparity study for the city, the first one in the City of Columbus since I graduated from high school. That was a long time ago. Because I knew that to make real and sustainable policy changes in the future, we needed to look at where we had been in the past. We've already seen some improvements with this focus on diversity and inclusion, wanting us to know that we couldn't realize our vision to become America's opportunity city, as the director said, until we first became America's equal opportunity city. So in 2017, we saw a 50% increase in city spending with minority and women-owned businesses. In 2018, we saw another 24% increase over 2017. So when we started 4 years ago, our total minority spend was about 8%. We grew it to 12%. And now, because of everyone's work in this room and all our partners in the community, nearly 16% of our total spend is with minority and female-owned businesses. That's better, but it's not good enough for America's opportunity city. We must continue to improve as we implement policy changes. Today is about reaching out to minority and women-owned businesses to register and let you know about available opportunities with the city. And as the director mentioned, there is another opportunity right around the corner. On October 2nd, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion will be holding a Connect Us small business conference and expo. It's going to offer tangible tips, resources, and business opportunities to startups, entrepreneurs, small business owners. We'll have great panel discussions and opportunities to network. And it's not just going to be the city, but many other entities, both public and We're also going to have some private sector developers there that we have engaged and want to be part of this to connect and build their networks of suppliers and vendors in the future. So both public and private transit authorities, airport authorities, all those types of folks. It'll be primarily Central Ohio focused, but I know we'll have folks from other parts of the state. So thanks again for coming out today. It is now my pleasure to introduce probably one of our greatest champions for diversity, inclusion, small and emerging companies, our council president, Shannon Hardin.
Good afternoon. It is truly a pleasure to be here. I have to thank Mayor Ginther for his leadership in this space. It was not too long ago when I was chair of our committee, a Small Minority Business Committee, and also chair of the Public Service Committee, where we had this conversation. And it was before Mayor Ginther became mayor. And I remember the phone conversation where we talked about a disparity study, and he said, yes, we're going to do it, and it will be a pillar of my administration. It's easy to say something, it's much harder to act on it, and he has acted on it, and we should give him another round of applause for his leadership. Furthermore, I want to recognize and thank the leadership of Demita, who is leading our Office of Diversity and Inclusion. But the truth is, she can't do it alone. It should not, the responsibility to diversify our spend should not be on one director, one department, or one person. It has to be something that is a part of the culture of every one of our departments. And I appreciate that truly has been the spirit in which all of our departments have taken on this work, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, and I can't pick favorite departments, but I really did enjoy being chair of Public Service and Transportation, and now my friend Shayla Favors chairs that committee. But today we're here to talk about the city's efforts as it pertains to diversity and inclusion, and Council recently accepted the findings of the disparity study, and while we knew that people of color and women weren't getting their fair share, we now have the legal enforceable documentation to show us the size of that disparity. So I look forward to working with Mayor Ginther, with Councilmember Favors, with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, with the Department of Development, as we craft and implement best practices to fix this disparity. And in addition to the dollars the city spends, I'm excited to work with the Department of Development to do the uplifting of small business. It's about creating an ecosystem for all of our businesses and minority businesses, small businesses, and women-owned businesses. We, as a city, can't even do it alone. We have to work hand in hand and use our leverage with the private sector as well to really put a stake in the ground and say, we're going to work with local minority-owned businesses, because when women-owned businesses thrive, when minority businesses thrive, our city thrives, and that's what we're all in this about. And so I'm excited about the opportunity that waits. We have the disparity study back now. Now the hard work is entailed, where we have to work through implementation. But I'm very proud that we have great partners in the mayor's office, in the departments, and certainly on council that will be along the way and make sure that our values are executed as we implement and do this work. And so it is my great honor to introduce my friend and my colleague, the chair of my favorite committee, Council Member Shayla Favors.
Well, let me just go on record and saying I am not giving up my committee. I know you are the president, but I will hold a sit-in at the Department of Public Service if you try to take it from me. Well, good afternoon. I am truly excited to be here today. I think what you will see is that the city is absolutely committed to moving this conversation forward. And Council President Hardin and I have this conversation all the time, just discussing ways that we can continue to partner with the administration to ensure that we are providing every resource that we can to ensure that we are enforcing the recommendations as provided by the disparity study. To Mayor Ginther and Director Gallagher and Director Brown, thank you for all of your hard work that you have done thus far. My name is Shayla Favor. I'm one of the newest members to Columbus City Council, and I am proud to serve as the chair of the Public Service and Transportation Committee. This department does so much work, and it is important work for the city of Columbus. It impacts all of us here in this room, from everyday items like collecting our trash to cleaning our streets, filling potholes, enforcing parking, and making sure we are getting around the city, whether we bike, walk, or drive. What that says to me is that there are several opportunities to do business with the city of Columbus through this department, and we need to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to inform you and the rest of the city of Columbus about these opportunities. In the past year and a half, Public Service has had 39 professional service contracts and 76 construction contracts for a total of over 115 opportunities to contract with the department. That translates to over $170 million in business opportunity with the city through this department alone. It is important to me as one of your city council members that we are doing everything that we can to provide minority and female businesses with the tools, knowledge, and opportunity to do business with the city. I am committed to ensuring that we as a city do more to support opportunities, and I look forward to working with the Public Service Department and Mayor Ginther to advance our goals. With that in mind, I want to remind everyone about the Connect Us Small Business Conference and Expo that will take place in just a few short weeks, October 2nd, at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. This is another great opportunity to network and learn about opportunities and resources and get involved with the city of Columbus. Thank you all again for being here today, and I look forward to continue to advocate for minority and female businesses in our city. Now I'd like to turn it over to Director Gallagher. Thank you.
All right, so now I'm going to turn the program to a little bit more details. I'm going to ask Public Services Assistant Director Steve Wentzel to come up, and what he's going to do is he's going to walk you through the rest of the agenda for the day, and then some contracting opportunities that are coming up for the Department of Public Service here shortly, and then we'll work through and have some other departments come up and talk to you about their opportunities as well. So Steve, I'll turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Director Gallagher said, my name is Steve Wentzel, Assistant Director over the Office of Support Services. One of my functions in this role is to oversee our department's procurement and contracting procurement and contracting activities. So today, what I'm going to talk about is how to find these opportunities. I'll also talk about getting started, the bidding process. We'll also talk about getting certified. I believe Director Brown's going to come up and have a few words about that, as well as upcoming opportunities. We'll hear from other departments, some of my colleagues that are out there, to go over opportunities that they have within the next 18 months. So let's dive right in and we'll show you how we find these opportunities. So even if you're not registered with the city, we do have access through different portals that I'll show you as we go along through this presentation to show you where to find these opportunities. Here at this portal, it says how to navigate to vendor services. So don't get scared with all these web pages that I'm going to show you throughout this presentation. We had our communication staff prepare like a little one-pager, outlines all the different websites that you can have access to, as well as some of the opportunities I'll outline during the presentation. So this link will navigate you to the vendor services website. The vendor services website, when you open it up, will look just like this. It's important to note some of the things that we're going to go over is open requests for quotations. Those are items that are out to bid right now that you have opportunities to bid on. We'll briefly go over closed requests for quotations. These are items that have closed, things that have already been awarded. And I will show you an example of where you can see what the different vendors were that bid on it and the prices and things of that nature. You'll also notice in the middle part here, new users. So this is where you're going to go to register through vendor services to get notifications and to do business with the city, to submit bids. Specifically, goods and services bids. There's other portals that we'll go over where you'll submit for professional services as well as construction services. I'll also point out towards the right there's another link to the vendor services site. There's great step-by-step videos that are tied to this link that step you through everything from creating a login to signing in to how to submit bids, how to get a bid back to make the changes, things of that nature. So we're going to concentrate right now on open requests for quotations. So open requests for quotations, when you click on that link, it's going to bring up this web page. These are all the open bids throughout the city that are posted on this website. So this is one place that you can go and find if you want to bid on a good, if you want to bid on a service, or if you want to bid on a construction contract. This is the one portal that you can use. Let me back up real quick. I wasn't done with that slide. So I want to kind of go over this slide a little bit just to kind of give you some explanation on what all these things mean. So the first column is basically the request for quotation with a number. Everything on this page is going to have a request for quotation. It has an RFQ number because everything we're asking for a quote either on a bid, a good, or a service. The next item is who's requesting it. So this is the individual requester from the different departments that have submitted this bid for to post on this website. And then the other is a short document title. This is the short description of what the bid is. And then the middle column is probably a more important column. So this is the solicitation type. So you'll see different letters here. The IFN, this stands for an informal bid. So these are for goods or non-professional services that are below $5,000. You'll see an ITB. ITBs are used for construction bidding. So this is what we submit when we want to post a construction bid on vendor services. And you'll also see an RFP, which is a request for a proposal. It's used for professional services and formal services over $50,000. On the next column, you'll see everything is labeled as sealed. We only do competitive sealed bidding within the city, so that's why everything is labeled as sealed. And then you'll see the expiration date. This is important also because this is when the bids are due. Not just the date, but the date and the time. So if you submit something after that date and after that time, it won't be responsive and won't be considered. The next column is the delivery date. This is just when the date the bid was submitted to be posted. On the next page, so this is that second link, which was closed request for quotation. So this, you click on it, and it lists out all the closed bids that have been awarded and opened. You can see it has some of the same information on it. It has a request for the RFQ number, the requester, the document title, what type of solicitation it is, if it's a sealed bid, the date it was opened. One thing you'll notice on this page is the bottom part of it. These are all the vendors that bid on that particular item. I believe in this case it's a utilities bid that was for solar-powered supplies. So these are all the different individual bids that they got for this commodity, and the pricing in the middle of it, it says net amount, and that's per supply unit, I guess. So this site shows you all the current bids that are out on the streets now that are anywhere in the process of being opened. One of the next things is I'm going to show you is how you can find out upcoming bids. Now this is going to be specific to the Public Service Department. I believe other departments also post stuff on their websites, and I'm sure they will point you in the right directions when you go around and talk to them at the different tables. But this is where we post all of our contracts that are upcoming. So you'll both find 19 and 2020 here. So I know this is a little bit hard to read, and we also have printouts of this that you can pick up at our table over here. Director Gallagher is showing. So this is all of our, I believe these are all of our requests for proposals. So these are all of our proposals for design services in the next 18 months. This is just the first page of it. I think I believe there's around 16 or 17 on that list, 18 on that list. So these are all the professional engineering services that we're going to open in the next 18 months. And I'll go over a few of these in detail in some later slides. So on this one, there's another link on that web page that was listed that'll take you to construction services upcoming bids. So these are all the construction contracts that we plan to bid in the next 18 months. In this case, you'll see some dates that we have associated with them when we expect them to go out to bid, and then other ones are to be determined that we're still working through the design process or the right-of-way acquisition process before we're ready to submit that out to bid. But as you can see, there's 42 different construction contracts that we'll have opportunities to bid on in the next 18 months. So now specifically, some of those construction and engineering contracts that we have coming up, I wanted to go into a little bit more detail instead of just providing you with a big, humongous, long list. So for current opportunities, these are ones that were on that list on vendor services. We have a Signal 2019 General Engineering Professional Service Contract. These proposals are due back in on September 26th. The estimated budget for this contract is going to be $500,000. So the intent of this task order contract is to perform traffic engineering, facility design, and associated tasks for the Department of Public Service. This would include traffic signal studies, which include tasks such as evaluating crash history, conducting vehicular and pedestrian turning movement counts, forecasting future traffic performing signal warrant practice and procedures, reviewing existing intersection geometry, identifying intersection site distance limitations, performing turn lane warrants per ODOT location and design manual, and conducting capacity analysis, performing speed studies, and analyzing signal timing. Traffic signal pedestrian facility design and construction plans preparation will also be required. Another project that we currently have out the bid is an ADA ramps project. This is another general engineering project. Proposals are due back on October 1st for this project. This project involves professional engineering and survey services and provides technical expertise to the department in the implementation of roadway maintenance and ADA ramps. Improvement types for these projects are typical but not limited to curb ramps, curb replacements, roadway resurfacings or improvements, including sidewalk, roadway drainage, safety pedestrian signals related to resurfacing and all ADA work. And this is budgeted at $250,000. Another bid that we currently have out is roadway utility cut and restoration construction project. These bids are due back on October 8th. This is the project that's budgeted at $200,000. This contract is for repair of existing or future utility cuts, as well as emergency situations within the right-of-way, such as pavement failures, sinkholes, or cave-ins. The last thing that we have out the bid currently is in partnership with our friends at Facilities Management or Construction Management and the Finance and Management Department is the Robert Rhodes Outpost Reconstruction. So this project is approximately an $8.5 million capital project that we allocated money to in 2019. The project includes the demolition of all the existing structures and any required hazardous material abatement on the property, as well as construction of the new facilities to include new office and locker room area, a garage for parking and storing city vehicles. This would include our CNG vehicles. It's going to have a salt barn, a new fuel island, a new wash bay, new covered materials stockpile bays, and new sweeper dump area with covered dumpster. So that's some of it's all of our bid opportunities that we have right now for public service. We have a few more that we're going to bid out in 2019. This is just a sample list of ones that I was wanting to talk about. The first one being a pretty big project that we're excited about. This is the Hamilton Road South construction project. This is actually a leverage project where we have money coming from ODOT as well as OPWC. It's a $19 million project that upgrades Hamilton Road corridor from I-70 to Refugee Road by providing complete street, facilities, and access management improvements. This includes installing 6 bus stops, 650 feet of shared use paths on the west side, 6,000 feet of sidewalk on the east side. The project will improve drainage in the area or the corridor and construct new curb and gutters. This project will also improve intersections by adding turn lanes and upgrading traffic signals to mast arms. Another project we plan to bid out this fall is a roadway general engineering contract. So this project, we're looking to establish a contract for around $200,000 for general engineering services. What this contract is for small to medium-sized design tasks as we need them for roadway construction projects. The major focus of this type of project is to make needed improvements to the roadway system. Design tasks may include survey, right-of-way, drainage, waterline, roadway design, and other such services that may be needed to complete the small to medium roadway projects that we have planned. Another one we're bidding this fall is a roadway project, Medina Avenue from Hudson to Briarwood construction. This is a $1.5 million project that we have budgeted. It's to reconstruct Medina Avenue between Hudson Street and Briarwood Avenue. Medina Avenue is going to serve as the main entrance into the new Linden Park Rec Center. So we'll be replacing Medina Avenue with a new curved roadway. We'll have ADA compliant curb ramps, new storm sewer system with sidewalks expected on the west side of Medina Avenue. Another fall project that we're looking to bid is 3rd Avenue Sidewalk Project. This is another construction project. This project is estimated at $495,000 and will be to implement missing sidewalk between Northwest Boulevard and Edge Hill Road along the north side of the road. This will complete the last section of the pedestrian access route that's needed along 3rd Avenue, and it's a heavily traversed pedestrian area. This is actually a joint project between us and Public Utilities, who will also be installing a 36-inch sanitary sewer replacement in that corridor. The last thing that we have coming out this fall, sometime in October or November, is a mobility design services contract. This contract is looking for transportation and planning general engineering services to evaluate select corridors throughout the city for new designs that are able to better access the mobility demands of larger transportation systems. Tasks may require traffic analysis, bikeway planning, consideration of pedestrian infrastructure, parking analysis, transit considerations, and other services as needed to complete the study. For some corridors, assistance may be needed with planning a pilot implementation, similar to the one that we did on 3rd and 4th Streets, to promote new design before the full design is adopted. So moving on to some of our 2020 opportunities. I'm just going to hit a few of these because I want to make sure I leave some time for my colleagues also. We have a general bridge engineering contract that's going to go out to bid next year. We have this in our 2020 capital improvement budget. This is to perform general engineering and survey tasks specifically related to bridges. Services include design of bridges and culverts, as well as plans to repair existing structures. Because some of the services are small in scope, we thought it was best to group these together and bid out for a larger project, and we'll issue task orders on those to do specific tasks on different bridges throughout the city. And it will help us quickly address different deficiencies that we find in bridges when we do our evaluation each year. We have a good bikeway project on Georgesville Road. This is actually a shared use path that goes from Hall Road to Climb Road. It's going to add a 4,000-foot, 10-foot wide shared use path on Georgesville Road from Hall to Climb Road. This is actually designed for that project. So we're going to design, we'll have right-of-way acquisition, we'll actually construct it probably sometime next year, later next year. And it's going to include some drainage improvements along that corridor also. And we've actually, I think, increased the limits of this to Parkwick Drive and Sullivan Avenue. We do have a bridge construction project out on the southeast side. This is the Lehman Road Bridge Replacement Project. It's budgeted at $1.3 million. The project consists of replacing the existing Lehman Road Bridge over Georges Creek. The new structure will accommodate a 3-section lane plus paved shoulders and sidewalks on both sides of Lehman Road. Also, Lehman Road will be resurfaced and widened to accommodate the new bridge structure, and will also have 4-foot paved shoulders from Gender to the eastern part of the limits, which I believe is the city limits. We have another small, good concrete resurfacing project that we're going to bid next year. Is roughly around $750,000. So approximately 3% of the city's roadway network consists of concrete surface. This project will ensure that these concrete streets receive the appropriate maintenance necessary to extend the pavement life. It will also improve safety and meet motorist expectations. Work consists of either partial or full depth repairs to concrete pavement throughout the city. Another one that we're going to have is another sidewalks. This is a school sidewalk project or Operation Sidewalks. This was actually funding that was provided by council. It's a $1.5 million construction project. The project scope consists of constructing sidewalk along the north side of Refugee Road from New Bixby Road to Blue Moon Drive, and on the south side from Refugee Road, from New Bixby Road to an existing sidewalk just west of Glenbrier Street. The last project that I'm going to highlight, it's going to bid probably some of it later this year, early next year, is right-of-way infrastructure improvements around Confluence Park. So this is the Crew Stadium. What we're doing is putting all the roadways around, and as well as the streetscape and things of that nature around the stadium to allow access in and out of the stadium. This project includes infrastructure improvements for roadway work around the stadium within the right-of-way, including paving, which includes stone sub-base, curbs, paving, pavement markings. It also includes sanitary sewers, storm sewer, water lines, electrical, traffic signage, roadway lighting, and conduit bank for telephone and CATV. There will also be streetscape improvements. There'll be brick sidewalks, landscaping, including street trees around the stadium. So quickly, I know I'm running out of time, but I wanted to talk quickly about getting started, the bidding process. So the first 3 things you want to do if you found anything in here that sounded interesting that you want to submit a bid on is to get registered. So get registered through the city's vendor services portal. This will actually give you notifications and it'll allow you to submit bids on both goods and non-professional services. The web link's up there again. Again, it's on my list. You'll want to get pre-qualified. So if you're planning to do any kind of construction work or be a licensed construction trade subcontractor, you need to become pre-qualified. Again, there's a link there, and I believe there's an online application that you can download and submit. And of course, if you're eligible for minority or female-owned business certification, you'll want to get certified with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, which I know Demita is going to talk about also. So quickly, for professional services, what application we use, what application we use to submit and you can review bids is called Bonfire. This is the link for Bonfire here. And when you click on the link, it'll automatically bring you up to all the opportunities in the city currently for design services. So this is professional engineering design services. So you can see there's about 9 things on this list that you can submit opportunities for. And then you just click on the opportunity and it'll bring up some additional details. So you get the project description, when the due date is, the time it's due, and then further down you can actually attach and submit your proposal. For construction services contract, everybody in the city as well as us uses Bid Express to basically submit all their construction contracts. So when you enter in the Bid Express link, it takes you to this page, and then you can create a sign-on from there. And then when you create your sign-on, it'll bring you into all the construction opportunities throughout the city also. When you first log in, it's actually going to, when you go to solicitations, it's actually going to bring up all the opportunities throughout the whole country. So what you can do is you can filter it by the city of Columbus, and then it will narrow it down to just ours. So here you can, again, review bid specification. You can review a brief description, of what the project is, when it's due. As you scroll down, you can attach all your bid documents and everything that you need to submit that bid. There is a small fee for Bid Express. It's either $35 per bid submission, or you can pay $50 and have unlimited submissions every month. So that concludes my presentation, and I will pass it off to Director Brown.
Good afternoon. So if the vendor registration wasn't as clear as mud, we have the experts in the room that can really help guide you through that process. I want to recognize James Bond, 007, from our Department of Finance and Management, who can help you with the vendor registration process. Bianca Bell from Finance and Management as well, who also can help you with pre-qualification. And our very own Tia Roseborough, who everyone knows, who can walk you through certification. And so part of our job in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, one of our primary tasks are certification. We do certify minority and women-owned businesses in the Columbus, Ohio area, as well as outside of our 5-county MSA, who are interested in doing business with the city of Columbus. The certification itself brings you a number of opportunities to get engaged with not only the city of Columbus in helping us to enhance our database of minority and women-owned firms who can participate on our contracts, but it also allows us an opportunity to share your information with a number of our other partners, both public and private, to get you access to those opportunities as well. So I do think that certification is very important for your growth and development. Just by show of hands, how many of you are already registered as a vendor with the City of Columbus? Quite a number. How many of you are certified as a minority or women-owned business? So fewer of you. So it's very important that you get certified. One of the great opportunities, and I know there have been a number of plugs around the upcoming conference, that is a great opportunity for you as a certified company to get engaged with not only the city, but with all of our partners. As the mayor mentioned previously, we do have a number of our local development companies who will be there showcasing opportunities for you to get involved with the development in our city, as well as many of our private sector partners, everyone from Nationwide and Huntington and our airport in Coda as well. Many of them will be there at that conference. And so as a certified business, you get an opportunity to engage with them, to engage with some networking, as well as some educational opportunities, and really get into the mix and the know of what's happening in Columbus and how you can play a major part in that. As we move forward, we have also, so in case you're certified with other entities and you don't want to go through the grueling process of getting certified with the city, we have made it painless for you. If you're already certified with the state of Ohio, with the National Minority Supplier Development Council, or even WeBank, we're working with them with a partnership, we can streamline the process of you getting certified with the City of Columbus. Tia does an excellent job of walking you through the process, making sure that it's as painless as we can make it. And we certainly want to be a partner to you in that process and help you along the way. So please feel free to reach out to Tia, to Bianca, and also James to get all of the information that you need with respect to our registration, pre-qualification, and certification processes there. And we hope that we will see you at the October 2nd conference. It's a great time. I promise you, if you're not there, you're going to miss out on some great opportunities. So we really do encourage you to participate. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to the departments now, I think. We have several departments here who are prepared to talk to you about specific opportunities related to their departments. We enjoy a very strong relationship with our departments as they're working through their requirements and needs for their upcoming opportunities. And so this is a real opportunity for you to engage with them and then help us to understand what you need to be successful. If there's information that you need, if we can handhold and walk you along the way, we will certainly be more than willing to do that. So we ask that you take real advantage of this opportunity and allow us to be your partner in the process. With that, I'll turn it over to Chris Long from Finance and Management, and he'll walk you through some of those opportunities.
Good evening, everyone. Don't worry, I will be brief. First, I just wanted to echo the remarks of Mayor Ginther, Council President Hardin, Councilmember Favor, and Director Gallagher and Director Brown, and thanking all of you for being here tonight. Our city leadership has mandated that we be better and do better, and to ensure that our workplace and supplier diversity matches the diversity of our neighborhoods. And so that's really why we're here tonight. I also wanted to just say the Department of Finance and Management, we have operations that really touch many different aspects of the city and doing business with the city. Probably the one I want to mention the most is our central purchasing office. As you can imagine, they handle much of the procurement of goods and services on behalf of city departments. The good news is several of my colleagues, Mr. Bond and Ms. Slaughter and Ms. Bell, are going to be working right around the corner at our finance and management booth tonight, along with myself. I urge you to please all come by, introduce yourselves. We're happy to help you get registered, answer any questions you have, connect you with the right people, and just get to know all of you. In addition, let's see, I just wanted to say, in addition to what I'm going to talk about here in a second, the Finance and Management Department houses several different operating units. Our Fleet Management Division procures and services our city vehicle fleet. Our Facilities Management Division handles all our custodial, our janitorial, our security, and our maintenance of all city buildings. And our Office of Construction Management, which I'm going to show you here in a second, handles much of the design and vertical construction of city buildings. So we're talking small-scale renovation projects all the way up to building a new building. I'm not going to go through all that tonight, but that's just a taste of what bidding opportunities could be available for anyone, and certainly all of you, to do business with the Finance and Management Department. Not going to go through all these, but these are just a handful of our design projects that we anticipate bidding within the next 12 months. We have our East Side Health Center, which we're going to be doing a design on generator improvements there. We have a design blanket that we want to do for small future renovation projects. Let's see here, it'll cycle through. Oops, I need to go back one. Oh, maybe that was it. Okay, well, one slide that's missing, but don't worry, we can get you that information. We also have roughly $50 million worth of small and medium-sized construction renovation projects that are going to be coming online and bidding out over the next 12 months. So plenty of opportunities. Look forward to meeting you. Please come by the Finance and Management booth. And next up is our Assistant Director from Public Safety, Mr. Echo Dennis. Thank you again.
My name is Echo Dennis from Department of Public Safety, and I'm here with Rob Stewart. He's also Assistant Director for the Department of Public Safety. For public safety, major construction projects are done in conjunction with Department of Finance. They are responsible for bidding out the contracts in the same way that Steve described, vendor services, Bid Express, and on vendor services. That's where they advertise everything. Next month, the city will sell bonds for capital projects, and safety will get about 23 million of those funds. And most of those funds will go to projects, almost all of it will go to projects that are over $5,000. And I'll go through some of, I don't have them listed over here, but I'll go through some of those projects here. In addition to the capital projects, police and fire also have general funds. And I'll go through a list of some of the things that they use the general funds for. Those are, small item, but some can go up to 5,000 and more. The capital funds that we have coming up, we will At this point of the year, most of our capital funds are dwindled. We don't have much left, but when they sell bonds next year, we'll start getting into some of these projects. We'll do neighborhood safety cameras. That's about a $500,000 project. That will come up when it will go out on bid services, vendor services. Installation of whole house generators for fire stations 11, 17, 28, 29, and 32. There are engineering and construction opportunities for this project, and funds will become available for the project when bonds are sold next month. Fire Station 23 Bay Extension. The project is to relocate the existing overhead doors on the north side and to be aligned with existing brink facade to lengthen the vehicle bay by approximately 13 feet. We have police parking lot pavements. We have a few of those parking lot pavements, and it's broken down into small projects. So these are over on our booth. We have a table down there. I have names, and I have a list of projects that you can call to get specifics on these projects. Real-time center. That's a project that involves, we have the funds right now for of identifying a location to build a center, and there are engineering opportunities here. Horse barn electrical improvements. These are electrical, lighting, and fans at horse barn stables at the McKinley Police Complex. This is a project that's probably around $20,000. HVAC upgrade to Fire Station 7, horse barn dumpster shelter, police parking lot pavement at stations 4, 5, 6, and 11, fire training elevator. This is to install passenger elevator at the Fire Training Academy. This might be a project, and like I said, most of these projects are mostly in the hundreds, maybe $200,000 range. Some of the items that police and fire do every year running their business, they have general supplies, which the largest portion of this is crime lab supplies. I know somebody in here asked me about some medical supplies. Office supplies, technology supplies, small tools, medical supplies, safety supplies, which is safety eyewear, special clothing, ammunition, food for canines and horses, and uniforms furnished to police officers. We have a booth. We'll have a list of all these out there, so stop by and you'll get numbers, you'll get email addresses to contact people. And thank you very much for your time. And I will call on Jim Miller. Jim Miller is next.
Hello, my name is James Miller, and I am with Recreation and Parks. Our mission is to connect the people through the power of nature, wellness, and creativity. I'm going to focus on creativity tonight, making sure I can get through the slides. Here we go. We offer a wide variety of services to our public. There's over 136 miles of trails, 29 community centers, 5 athletic complexes, 6 pools, 6 golf courses, 2 skate parks, 385 parks, 14 nature preserves, 5 dog parks, and 3 reservoirs that all sit on over 8,000 acres of land in and outside the city of Columbus. And I could go through a whole list of projects that involve each and every one of those types of opportunities that we offer to city residents. But before I did that, I wanted to ask those here in the room, who would represent professional services, design for engineering, architecture, advertising, whatever? Okay, and how about the trades? Plumbers, mechanicals, contractors. Okay, so as I see the cross-section of people here in the room, that'll confirm the assumption that I made when I put this presentation together. But we have projects that range from $20,000 or less, all the way up to $25 million. And our trails, our bridges, and our facility projects, they of course get larger. Some of our smaller projects involve maintenance, pump houses, HVAC improvements, surface improvements, playgrounds, drainage in our parks, and things of such. But one of the things that we just finished as a department that I'm very excited about is we assessed the condition of all 136 of our facilities. The roofs, the heating and cooling, the electrical, the plumbing, the building envelope, the site, the parking lot, all of the amenities contained within have all been evaluated. And we have identified maintenance projects that need to occur across the next 25 years for us to maintain the level of service that we're currently maintaining. And as part of that assessment, we identified that as a department, we need to spend approximately $9 million a year to maintain $40 million of deferred maintenance in our facilities. So that's not even catching up with the work that we have to do. That is to maintain status quo. So again, when I looked across the room and I saw who was here, particularly those with the trades and professional services, we have needs for architecture, we have needs for engineering, we have needs for analytics, we have needs for plumbing, electrical, mechanical, you name it, we have it. So one of the creative things that we have done as a department, especially to small businesses who are registered with MBE as MBEs, is we're going to develop auditor certificates and a qualification list of contractors and service providers whom we can just call. For contracts that are less than $50,000, we don't necessarily have to go out and advertise on vendor services. We can pick up the phone and call and ask you for a proposal or for a quote. When it gets above $50,000, it hits vendor services, and when it exceeds $75,000, that's when prevailing wage and bonding kicks in. So many of our projects fall below that threshold. And we not only do that for maintenance, which requires contractors, but we also do that for design professionals that do work within our department as well. So I will reiterate three things actually that Mr. Wenzel said. Register, become pre-qualified, and if you are an MBE, register with ODI and obtain that status. And if you want to see a more detailed list of all of the projects that Recreation and Parks has planned for the next year, our table is outside this door here to your left. And there's a handout right here with project names and approximate dollar amounts for each. And I will leave you with that and turn this over to Mike with development opportunities. Mike Schwab or Scott Garver?
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Schwab. I'm with Department of Development. I'm actually in the Code Enforcement Division. Some of the things that the City of Columbus Department of Development does is we're out there running the grass cutting operations. We have two different grass cutting programs that we actually have. Here's the Code Enforcement. We have a landscaping mowing contract coming due. We have debris disposal, tire disposal, graffiti contract. We just awarded a graffiti contract, but it'll be coming due again here shortly, as well as an arborist contract. The city hires an arborist to go out and look at dead trees, so that way we can determine they're dead. But the landscaping mowing is the one that I personally supervise. We spend $500,000 a year cutting grass in the neighborhoods that when we can't get the property owners to take care of it. So we're always looking for good vendors to handle that. If you go to the housing, we have emergency repair services, we have plumbers, electricians, HVAC people doing emergency repairs. There's contracts that are awarded regularly on those. We have a lead program. There's a couple different lead programs. I can't speak too much on it, but I do have paperwork back at the desk over in the corner there that will explain more about those programs. Our land redevelopment program, that's the city's land bank. We have, they have their own grass cutting operation along with property clean out. They have crews that remove snow off the sidewalks in front of city-owned properties, as well as they need people to tow junk cars off of properties that the cities have been dumped on city properties. Some services coming up here for the planning department is an art maintenance program, as well as a transcription services program. Economic development has a couple bid opportunities that are going to be coming up here as well. So the programs are there. We're looking, I know I like to do business with small businesses and minority-owned businesses. We do a lot of it, but I want to reiterate, register with vendor services, get registered. You'll get notified because all the bidding we do is done through vendor services portal. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Pettiford with Public Utilities.
Good afternoon, Mike Pettiford from Public Utilities. I'm in the fiscal section on the capital side. In the next upcoming couple of years, we are going to have a spend of approximately $1 billion. In that, it's a combination of the Division of Water and the Division of Sewers and Drainage. Those projects will be combined to produce bond-funded and loan-funded projects. Under the bond-funded projects, we're going to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 million. On the loan-funded side, we'll spend approximately $650 to $700 million. Some of the key projects that we're going to be looking at on the bond-funded side, we have a tunnel project that's on the way, where we are the Lower Olentangy Tunnel. It's going to be an RFP, an engineering project, where we're looking at probably 3 combined projects, and in that we're looking at a spend of approximately $9 million. We have at our plants at the Jackson Pike and Southerly, we're going to be spending approximately $16 million on small capital projects. Those things will include projects like HVAC, roof repair, building and maintenance type projects that need to be completed as we move forward. We have one of our bigger projects, which is called the Blueprint projects. We're going to spend approximately $24 million. Now, Blueprint is our approach to solving consent order types of projects where we have 2 choices. We can put more larger pipes in the ground, which usually consists of tunnels, or we can address the issues at the source, and which Blueprint does. And what we're going to be doing there is going into residential areas, looking at how water comes off your roof, and we refer to that as roof redirect. We're going to do lateral lining to improve how water flows from your property into our system. And in some cases, we're going to be doing what's called sump pump projects, where if water backs up into your house, this is a program that will come out and address those. These opportunities will range from small dollars into large, moving along. On our loan side, we're going to have our one of our major tunnel projects coming along, $223 million. We have a Jackson Pike cogeneration. It's a $25 million project. That's the use of biogas to generate electricity, which will, in the long run, as we move forward with that project, help reduce some of our operating costs at some of our facilities. On the water side, we have several thousand miles of water lines that have to be constantly repaired and to prevent leakage. And we will have water main and water lines, which will be about a $17 million combined spend. Moving into, also with the loan side, we have approximately $26 million worth of repairs that we're going to have to do in our water treatment facility at Hapcremene and Parsons Avenue. We have our water quality labs, which over time we have to constantly make sure that we are updating and renovating and keeping those in order. With that, I will turn it over back to, and I have information at the back in case you need any additional.
Okay, so again, I want to say thank you for sticking with us during all the presentations. We really appreciate you being here and giving us some feedback. I would like to thank just a few people real quick before we go on to the next piece. I want to thank Sarah and her team from Essentia. They put all, oh, that got loud. They put all this together for us, so thank you for all of your hard work. And I also, yes. And I want to thank Steve Winsel and Randy Borntrager from my team who also put in all the legwork for this. So I wanted to publicly say thank you to them. And now we have all the tables. I think everybody's pointed out to you all their tables. So please take time to go to Diversities here. We've got tables around the corner, Public Services here, and there's a few just outside the door. Please help yourself to, there's fun little fruits and vegetables, and my favorite part, the cookies and water. So please help yourself as you meander about. Thank you so much.